All right. It was the choice of Steins Gate. We're going to finish this off. So, hello and welcome to the Steins Gate episode 24 episodic review. So, we had Okabe try to save the world, save Makise. It didn't work out so well. We learned who the killer was. The killer, the murderer of Makise, was Okabe. I don't think anybody would have guessed that. I don't think I had guessed that originally. I don't know who, if anyone, if I guessed. But nonetheless, he failed, but it was necessary to fail, and now his future self convinced his present self that it's possible to save Makise by tricking everyone and himself that she's dead when she's really not. And that will fix the world and get them to Steins Gate, where World War III will not occur, because Dr. Nakabachi escapes with the time travel papers. So they have enough to go back one more time. One more time. Every single ounce on the line. Talk about heavy. The weight of the world 2 times over. Boy. I bet he needs some deodorant. Goodness, Okabe Rinthro. So we get a recap of future Okabe telling Okabe what he needs to do, trick himself that Makise is dead, and stop Dr. Nakabachi escaping to Russia with the time machine papers written by Makise, which kicks off World War III. I just said all that kind of stuff. Suzuha explains she can only go back once more and then return. I kind of said that. I accidentally said that last episode. Suzuha cannot go back to 2036. She can't go back there. It would alter the future to never need to go back to 2010. If they mess up, she'll be stuck in 2010 with them forever, essentially. And we get a Hoen Kyoma. He was totally demotivated after learning he kills Makise and living it firsthand. But then he got remotivated by everyone and himself, ironically, or time traveling. Operation Skull begins. Okabe finds a stun gun to knock out Makise instead of have her be dead, to just be knocked out. So he's got one component down pat he's thought up. Really smart and creative and all that. Good stuff. And even a creative part of the show, really, with the writing. Suzuha is getting impatient. Okabe finds a glow stick saber for fake blood to use. As my voice is already tired. As Makise's blood that he finds her in. So he's going to use the goo liquid from the glow stick saber and the knockout stunner gun. So that combined should do the job. Mayuri asks of Makise sitting in the lab. She remembers her from other world lines and ponders, dreaming about that sort. Daru, you and your 2D women. Suzuha ponders if others have reading Steiner. So maybe it's not unique to Okabe. More allusions towards that. Others have it lesser so, seemingly. Okabe has a more complete, refined version somehow. Okabe thinks everyone has it. Okabe credits their survival to Makise. Mayuri thinks he liked her much. Indeed, indeed. He says she was vital to him and crazy in love with him. Always a good thing to say when they're not able to say it themselves. Mayuri emphasizes Okabe must save her then, if they digged each other. Mayuri gives them the motivator. Daru asks of his wife to Suzuha yet again. Suzuha says it is a good surprise. But she's keeping it under wraps. Interesting. Makes you wonder if they'll explore that with Zero. Okabe and Suzuha time travel back. The final chance, the final shot. They have to get this perfect or everything's ruined. Whew, talk about sweat and bullets. Okabe and Suzuha time travel back to 2010-07-28 at 11:51 once again. Okabe must avoid his past self, Okabe. Suzuha leaves the glow stick at Makisei's death spot for him. Suzuha shoots open the door lock with a silenced pistol on the roof. They make their way in. Okabe makes sure Mayuri doesn't get the metal upa first, which he wins it himself now so that Dr. Nakabachi doesn't reach Russia with it but dies in the plane that bursts aflame. Past Okabe gets a different upa for Mayuri now. So that part of the mission is successful. He gets a non-metal upa. Good grief. Imagine if they got a metal upa again by chance. Ooh, not good. Okabe once again runs into Makisei. He replicates the first time he met her again. He does everything the same here. He mentions he is, but with the wording kind of less vague, more blunt, blatant. He says he's there to save her life this time and runs off. Makisei wanted him to explain himself. Makisei finds the upa dropped by Mayuri, plastic instead of metal now, due to Okabe interfering. Okabe ponders the papers on time travel that will now burn up on the plane to Russia. So that part is fixed. Now the other bit. It's all down to Okabe saving Makisei. Kurisu. He's got to save the girl at all costs. He's got to save the girl somehow, some way, and he's got the tools to do it. So Okabe now focuses in on Makisei. Get rid of Nakabachi and knock out Makisei, and then can use the glow stick liquid. But he checks the glow stick liquid now, and it's hardened up. It's hardened up, so it can't be used. It can't be used for the blood, and he's stuck in this situation now, and it's ongoing, real time. He's got to think up something. He's got to find a way. Talk about pressure. My goodness. Okabe finds No, I already said that. Dr. Nakabachi arrives to Makisei and all the time travel paper stuff. It's essentially a repeat from before. Okabe essentially comes up with a plan. He thinks real fast, and he ponders an alternative. I don't know if everyone picks up on it necessarily, but nonetheless I'll say because we're in the review anyway. So Okabe realizes he's kind of looking at his own hands, or whatever the case. He's kind of looking at himself. So he is plotting at present to use his own blood to save Mayuri. Or, not Mayuri, Makisei. Blonde moment. Okabe, or Freudian slip. Okabe interrupts Dr. Nakabachi yet again. And this time he does his typical talk of himself, talking himself up. That lab coat pose, oh baby. Simply irresistible to Makisei. Not to me. Nope. And by the way, Ruka is a dude. And we get a ho in Kyoma. Dr. Nakabachi repeat of before. He concludes that they're colluding and trying to destroy him and his career. He once again pulls out the knife. Okabe doesn't run off, doesn't run away, and plays him up, angering him. Come on, bring it, you little sissy, type of a deal. Dr. Nakabachi really teed off. Okabe just pushing him over the edge. Dr. Nakabachi finds the cojones to actually rush Okabe, and the sound effect, oh gosh, that little jab sound effect is just so horrible and cringeworthy. Ugh. Nakabachi drove it into Okabe's gut. Oh. And then he blames Okabe for what he did. What the heck, man? And then, good gosh, all the pain and everything, Okabe manages to... Oh, this is just going to make me cringe and grimace throughout this whole thing. And it always is. Oh, gosh. Okabe grabs it and rips it out of himself. Oh. He seeks to scare off Dr. Nakabachi while he can still muster it. He's getting weak, and given he just got jabbed, even all the different muscle usage, anything, any bit of movement would just be absolutely torture. The pain. Oh. So he manages to walk. He manages to walk to Nakabachi and point it at him. Okabe threatens Dr. Nakabachi right to his face with it. He takes the papers and runs off. Nakabachi takes the papers, runs off without the metal lupa. With the plastic one. Makise, stunned in the moment, realizes Okabe needs serious help. She gets on her phone to call the ambulance. She turns around with her back towards him for a minute, and he's just all kind of hunched over in just severity. Okabe ponders this is now his chance, his one chance. And he says, like a repeat of his promise or his vow, I promised to save you. And she turns around to look at him. He stun guns her. As she's starting to do that, or gets kind of that halfway, he stuns gun her. I came here to save you. I vowed to save you. And he's going through with it. And this part of the show... No. He realizes that the scene before him does not match what he saw before. It's not enough. It's not enough. So, oh, good gosh. Good gravy. Good grief. I don't think anyone else could manage this. Okabe. I am glad it just implied. It's one of those things. It's just beyond cringeworthy. Beyond cringeworthy and horrific. It's the only way to describe it. Horrific. Okabe reaches into his own wound to get more blood out. To pour it out all over. To get enough to make it look like Makise was murdered. He pours out his blood. Good grief. And Okabe ponders of saving Makise now. That he's done a good deed, good job. But he's just struggling through all this, because he got jabbed. And just there's no way to describe. It's just sick, absolutely sick. And then with Makise out, knocked out, and a pool of blood with the knife, that is enough. That is enough. So Suzuha finds Okabe, helps him, along. There's a little bug. Where the heck did that bug come from? We'll get him. We'll get him at some point. Anyhow, Suzuha helps him walk along, help him get back to the time machine. But he wants to hold off. He wants to wait just a few moments, a few seconds, to see his own response to the deed that he has done. So he watches his own response. He watches his own past response to finding Makise like that originally, what we saw before. Ugh, bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So, obviously, Suzuha making the weight of everything known, that they need to get him back because he was reckless and lost so much that he needs assistance. He needs some care, like a medic. So Suzuha manages to help Okabe back to the time machine, and they start time traveling back to the future. And she calls Okabe baka, an idiot, stupid, for being so reckless. She managed to stop the bleeding of him and informs him to please reach a hospital once we return to the future. Once he returns. And the G-force, the gravity force, whatever, takes its toll on him as they're going through this. And she's kind of explaining things and a little bit, and that the future's kind of now getting rewritten, and everything kind of slowly disappears. But Suzuha thanks Okabe, and as she kind of is disappearing, she says, "See you in 7 years." AKA, she's going to be born 7 years from his present when he gets back. What a nice touch there. So the time machine disappears, Okabe disappears, they all disappear. And then we get a shot of empty hospital room, Okabe's room, which is like, whoa, no, don't pull that on us. But we know it's pretty much a ruse. Mayuri brings flowers to the hospital for Okabe. She finds the empty bed. So we kind of assume he's good, he went off. Okabe is out on the streets, and there's on the news Dr. Nakabachi. He got the loss of the papers. Russia doubts his defection, so Dr. Nakabachi ends up shorted. Mayuri looks for Okabe everywhere, which is a nice slow outro to the show. She looks for Okabe everywhere, and to kind of round things off with everyone, the whole cast, she looks for him at the Akihabara Shrine, and she talks to Ruka, so she's kind of like behind his trail on everyone. Okabe gave Ruka a Future Gadget Lab pin, which reads OSHMK UFA 2010. So now we get the pin coming back into all this. It's so well written and well rounded. It's bonkers. You couldn't keep track of everything if you tried. But anyhow, now Mayuri looks for him at May Queen's. Nya nya. Or Queen May's. Nya nya. Ferris. She talks to Ferris. Ferris got the same pin from Okabe. Ferris. Nya nya. So, Mayuri checks in with Mr. Braun, who has seemingly employed Moka to help her work. she was out of a job, so he hired her to help her out. And he needed the work. He needed the employee. So Mary talks to her. Okabe gave Moeka a pin as well. So all the lab mems are getting a pin. She checks in with Daru, talks to Daru, and they have 2 pins for themselves from Okabe. And Mayuri wonders what the pin letters of M, K, and A stand for. Daru helps clarify things and says lab members go up to 8, and he don't recall that many. And that Okabe put a pin, one of the pins, in a box that's specially reserved on the side for 7 years from the present. That's cool that he knows what's going to happen. Very cool. Mary is glad that the lab will have so many people and good friends and chatting and this and that and connections. Then we get a toot-through. Mary des. Okabe is out on the streets, Akihabara, pondering everything, pondering his success and what that has done invaluably for Makise. He's pondering her. He so digs her, but he ponders his success, that he's satisfied because she's out there somewhere. She's out there okay, living life, being some fancy pants scientist. So they're saving the best for last here. Icing on the icing on the icing on the cake. He ponders his memories of their 3 weeks together. He's searching for her, walking around. He kind of gets satisfied not finding her, but he's looking for her. He's definitely looking for her, keeping an eye out. He wants to find her. He doesn't know where she could be, but he cares to find her, to see her again, to see her well, to reconnect with her, and probably to have her fall for him again with all his wackiness. Get out of here, silly bug. And anyhow, where we end off here is Okabe, such a good shot. Shows kind of everything, people going left and right. And what do we see? Okabe and Makise pass by each other. And not only does he recognize her, but Makise, Kurisu, recognizes Okabe Rintaro. She has been looking for him this entire time as well. She ponders. I've looked everywhere for you. She doesn't know how to say what she wants to say to him. Okabe does his typical spiel, his typical talk, and he says how he wills to protect her. It's a true guy right there. True guy right there. And we get an Elsai Kangru. And we get a Christina. Okabe makes Makise a lab member, and he gives her the last future gadget lab pen. He kind of hands it off all slowly. And that's where we end it. That's where we ended. I think there were other little comments in there that I didn't jot down. That the something like the potential of the future is infinite or something, or whatever the case. There was some sort of comment in there, I'm sure, that I didn't jot down. But anyhow, that's the end of Steins Gate, at least with the main show is concerned. Then there's the OVA and the movie I don't intend to do right now. And then, of course, we got Steins Gate 0 starting anytime. I don't know if it has started. I doubt it. It's probably starting late April. But anyhow, looking forward to that. And do make sure to check out the I do recommend, I don't think it's great, but I think it was a good attempt, an alright attempt. It was certainly good to check out and see. It's kind of neat. Essentially Steins Gate Live. I think it's called Steins Gate Living. And that is really neat. Really quite neat. Nice attempt. Doesn't have everything, but who can blame him? I wondered if it was the same VAs or they just did audio over them or something. I don't know. Really good stuff, though. Anyhow, that was episodic review of one heck of a top show. A top tier show, to say the least. A great entry into the time travel genre. For me, it was, anyhow. Great stuff. And then from there, later on, I had seen Erased and other things I can't say because it could get spoilery, but so yeah. Anyhow, great show. I think it's safe to assume that Okabe and Makise would end up together once again. She's kind of indebted to him. She knows that he saved her. She knows he's a nice guy already. And he cares for her even though she don't know anything. So it would be one-sided for a while, but nonetheless, I think she'd fall for him again. I think that definitely would happen. So, I think most people wouldn't mind more Steins Gate, which is probably why Steins Gate 0 is happening. Kind of like other shows, I wouldn't mind more of other shows, or some I think have more potential. Can't get the bug, but don't know where they're coming from past week or so. Anyhow, thank you very much for watching. Let me know your favorite moment of the episode. I don't know what mine is. There's so much meat and potatoes throughout the whole thing. They're just packed to the brim, these last two episodes. No idea. But no kissing at the end, that's alright. But we already had gotten it. So, probably just the stunner of him having to provide the blood is just bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. That's probably my favorite moment, how things pan out differently than the last episode. It's hard to decide on any particular thing. So Okabe, Shina, Hashida, Moaka, Kurisu, whatever the case, Ferris and I can't think of them. Dang it. I was trying to get them all. Anyhow. I missed the U and the A. Whatever. It's very hard to keep everything together with this show. Keep track of everything. But yeah, how many of the pin letters can you guess? Can you get based on memory? I got all but 2. The U and the A, for some reason, aren't to me. Well, Amane would be for Suzuha. So I guess I got that one. So just the U. It's probably the darn last name of one of them that I can't remember. It's probably Ruka's, because there's not an R. Yeah, it's probably Ruka's. Anyhow, Ruka is a dude. So, anyhow, we'll call things good now. So, thank you very much for watching my Steins Gate episodic review. All casual, all passion. Hopefully, someone has enjoyed it. So, I don't know what else we'll review, if ever. This is going to take forever to upload, even. Jeez. All these. So, I'll go grab some chow. But man, oh man, there's one thing for sure. This was a great show, but beside that, I would love to time travel back and to see this for the first time again. And other people's reactions to it are really great too. There's nothing like this, seeing one of these kind of shows blind, and then seeing other people's passion, watching it blind. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. So, one of the best. Top tier. Top tier. So anyhow, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more. Something else at some point. One would hope. So, as always, take her cool.